if you are not grateful, your partner will eventually stop even the little thing that they are doing.
Stock taking your marriage allows you to identify things you believe as a couple no longer serve the interest of your marriage.
Don't wait until you are 100% and only then you decide to celebrate.
You get the marriage that you want.
Yeah.
So you must plan for it and work towards achieving it.
Yeah. Hello family, and welcome to Finding Beauty in Marriage, your podcast for all things marriage and the place where we build beautiful, meaningful and fulfilling marriages. As always, I'm with the sexiest woman I know. I'm allowed to say sexy, ne? The wife of my youth and my co-host, Matapelo Maluka. Say hi, sugar.
Hello everybody, I hope that we are all doing well today and that we're going to have a great time together.
Yeah, indeed.
I get a new title every week from you.
it just goes to show just how brilliant you are. Take us through what we are talking about today.
Okay, so on Monday, we celebrated our anniversary. Yeah. And as it is custom to us, we like to make it a time of reflection on our past year, to reflect on us as a couple and on our marriage.
Yeah.
So it is a very important moment for us because it allows us to take stock and introspect. It gives us time to assess and reevaluate, and also to appreciate and fortify the foundations of our love as we navigate through the depths and the highs of the past year, revisiting memories that have brought brightness into our marriage.
Yeah.
So with that being said, today I'd like us to talk about taking stock of your marriage.
Yeah.
This is important to do as a couple because it helps to reflect, renew, and refuel your marriage.
Yeah.
So we are going to be looking into 9 ways to effectively take stock of your marriage.
Awesome. Yeah. So it's 9 ways to effectively take stock of your marriage. And maybe just to give you a spoiler alert, the last one is really celebrating our love, right? And that's where we normally get stuck as couples.
Yeah.
When it comes to our anniversaries, we just celebrate our love, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And what we want to do today is to really go through other things that you can do during your anniversary to make sure that you are building, you are building a better marriage, you are building a more fulfilling marriage, you are building a stronger marriage, basically. And that's why we are doing this list that we are doing today. So the first one is reflecting on the past year. And you've spoken about that, during our anniversary, we use this time to reflect on the past year. As a people, we are so busy. And we are so busy, it's not even funny. We are so busy so much that even some key moments in our lives, they pass us by. And what I mean by that is we have key moments in our lives that we should be recognizing, but we don't recognize, right? And this is now throughout the year. And that's why reflecting in the past year helps you kind of note those things and kind of pin them down and point them. During this anniversary week, what we do is we slow down. So intentionally go into a slow mode, just so you can be able to better reflect on the past year, right? Slowing down and reflecting together will help you notice some of the things that you have not acknowledged, which you should have acknowledged, right? When reflecting on the past year, there are things that you can consider. What have been our highs and what have been our lows? What milestones have we reached as a couple? What are the most memorable moments that we've experienced in the past year. What challenges did we face in the past year, and how did we overcome them, if we did overcome them, The thing is, we are so preoccupied, and because we are so preoccupied with so many things, we tend not to realize just how good we are doing as a couple. These questions that I've just mentioned just now, we had a couple. I won't mention their name, but I know they listen to us. We gave them some questions to go through, and they went through those questions, and they came back to us to say, wow, we didn't realize just how good we were doing as a couple. It's not about pointing out the bad. Sometimes you'll realize that you actually are doing much better as a couple. But you can only be able to notice those things if you actually probe, because our brains remember the worst parts of our marriages much better. Not just marriage, our brains are just created in that way. They remember the traumatic moments more than they do the beautiful moments. So for you to be able to actually see how good you are doing as a couple, you need to actually do the probing. And that's why reflecting on the past year is so important.
Okay, number two. Reviewing your marriage. To review means to formally assess or to assess something with the intention to institute a change if necessary. So the time of stock taking your marriage, as you review it, allows you to look back into your marriage so that you can identify things you believe as a couple no longer serve the interest of your marriage or don't benefit your marriage anymore the way that you want it to. It also gives you time to look into those things that serve your marriage quite well and benefit the overall health and success of the marriage. Reviewing your marriage helps evaluate the overall state of the relationship. You look at all the various facets of your connection, including your communication, trust, intimacy, support, and attention to detail.
And if you need some help, you can go through the previous episodes to really look into how to do the communication, how to do the intimacy.
So marriage review really allows you to also recognize areas that need attention or improvement, and you commit yourselves, both of you, to those so that you can hold each other accountable in order to help one another better their marriage into the next anniversary going forward. So by honestly assessing your connection, what happens is that you foster a deeper sense of love and companionship in the relationship. And
at work you do your reviews.
You do your reviews.
You do pretty much everywhere. You review everything. And this is one area in our lives where we don't it's the most important area of our lives.
The neglected in so
one,
many ways.
We speak about this all the time. We don't prepare enough for marriage. Yet we go 4 years, do a degree to prepare for work. Whatever you do, there's preparation for it.
A company has a vision and a mission. Our marriages don't. And
one day we'll talk about that.
We'll go into that one. So I just wanted to help with probably the questions that you may ask yourself when you review your marriage. You can ask questions like, how do we describe the overall state of our relationship? You and your partner, you sit and you look at the overall state of your relationship, and you talk about that. You can also look at what are the strengths of the relationship that you can take advantage of going forward, to say, what, these things are really what's holding the relationship. How do we make them work going forward? How do we continue to make them work going forward? And then the other thing that you can The other question that you can ask yourself, you ask yourself, what are the areas that you can improve on?
Yeah.
Be it your communication, trust, and intimacy. Like I said, what are those areas that you can improve on? How can you improve on and help your partner? You are a team for a reason. You are married for a reason, so that you help one another improve your marriage.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Number 3, taking emotional inventory. It's another part of, and like I say, we mostly as couples, we get stuck on just celebrating our love, which is beautiful, but that celebration might be short-lived if we are not going to be doing all these stock-taking areas, because it's about really just looking back and just finding out how have we been doing. So in taking emotional inventory, maybe let me start here. What are emotions? And I wrote a note here. An emotion is a feeling such as happiness, love, fear, anger, or hatred, which can be caused by the situation that you are in, or the people you are with. So we can see that usually an emotion is invoked by your surrounding. It's invoked by your situation or the people that you have around you. So it's really important to note that in our marriages, emotions play a very big role. We need to always be in check of our emotions. And when this time of the anniversary comes, that's where we need to actually review, to see how do I feel about my marriage? Really question that and be honest with yourself. How do I feel about my marriage? Okay, how do I feel about my spouse? Genuinely so, how do I feel about how things are going in our marriage? And that's how you first be in check of your own emotions, so that you are self-aware and you know exactly where you stand with regards to your marriage before you can do this exercise of taking an inventory of your emotions as a couple. Because once you've figured out how you feel, then it's about you then sitting with your spouse and then taking stock of those emotions as well. And again, emotions, as I mentioned, they do play a big role in our marriages, right? The role they play is that they affect perceptions. They also affect how we interact with each other. But also they have an effect on how satisfied we are in our marriage. So that's why it's so important to check, where am I emotionally in this marriage? We are there physically, we are there maybe spiritually, we are praying together, but where are we emotionally? And that needs to be checked. Taking an inventory of your emotions will help you be in line with each other's state of emotions. So you know what your partner feels like around the marriage. If there are places or areas where you need to improve, because this is about building. When we do these checks, we are not doing these checks so we can bash one another. We are doing these checks so that we can build and become a better couple. Right? So here's how you can assess the state of emotions in the marriage. That's how I want to put it. Ask each other basically how you feel towards each other. This is after you've checked, obviously, with yourself. And then when you sit, you check how you feel towards each other. Assess your love and your affection towards each other. Do you feel loved? I must ask you, do you feel loved? Are you happy? Do you feel that I'm affectionate enough? Because that affects your emotions. And how do you feel about our marriage at this moment? And when you do this emotional stock taking, you'll realize that there may be some unresolved conflicts, and some lingering resentment somewhere. And you want to you may not be able to resolve it at that moment, but you don't need such things to be hidden away. So emotional checks reveal such things. So if there are some unresolved issues and some lingering resentment, then you get to find out about it and decide then what to do going forward. This will also help you start building that mending process, because now you know what's wrong, you know where you guys stand, but then it also gives you a better way to, it gives you a start. Let me say a start. It begins that process of healing if there are issues in the marriage, But that's what taking an emotional inventory helps regarding the marriage.
Okay, cool. Number 4. Is it number 4 that we are going
Number
into?
4.
Okay. Number 4, evaluating shared goals.
Yeah.
Right. On one of our previous episodes, we did speak about having and setting shared financial goals as a couple. And equally important is to evaluate them, to check the progress so as to gain insight into the alignment of your vision and aspirations as a couple.
Yeah.
Assess achievements and setbacks encountered in the previous year of your marriage. You check if there are any adjustment or revisions that need to be made to adapt to the current circumstances of the relationship or the marriage. You can always realign shared goals and set new objectives if these ones that you have set no longer serve the interest of your marriage, so that you may have a better future going into the future of your marriage. So questions that a couple can look into as they evaluate their shared goals. Number 1, have we made progress towards our shared goals from the previous year? Right. Are there any goals that need to be adjusted or revised based on our current circumstances? What steps can we take to work towards our shared goals more effectively? If they didn't work, what can we do different? Because it shows that whatever that was put into effect on the previous year, it did not work. So what is it that we can do differently so that we are more effective going forward? So yes, it is very important that you revisit and evaluate your shared goals and do something different if they are not working. Sometimes it's not always the case that you need to do away with a goal, but try a new approach that can help the very same shared goal that you still have.
I like that. It's our marriage. It's our marriage, which means we can do pretty much everything and anything we want to.
The power is in your hands.
The power is in our hands. If something doesn't work for us, there's no need for us to. No one is holding a gun to our head saying you
forcing
must
us,
do this.
to do it.
Sometimes the goal might change. Sometimes the goal might not be necessary anymore.
It might be just, I don't know, too big is the word to use, that probably you may not achieve it in the next 5 years. Stretch it to 7, stretch it to 10. Look around it to see what can you do that can better achieve the goal.
What normally helps, especially when it comes to goals, to avoid feeling despondent or discouraged regarding your goals, is to just make sure that there is progress. As long as the goal is not stagnant, as long as it's not stagnant, there's just a little step, then you know that at least you are moving forward. You are not just sitting in one place. We have so many goals, and this podcast was one of the goals that we wanted to reach, but it took quite some time to get to where it is. It doesn't mean we were not working on it. In fact, this episode was done last year.
I think we
June.
did.
Last year, June.
No, the whole thing was done during our anniversary last year. Actually, last year
we did it.
That's when we
last
came
year.
up with this.
Oh, so it was May.
Yeah,
It was May.
It was May. Yeah.
It was May. This is what I'm talking about. It was not a podcast then.
Yeah.
But it's progress.
Yeah.
We have the content.
We
In
have the
fact,
content.
I think we have topics for the rest of the year. It doesn't mean we were not working on the podcast. We had a goal. We just couldn't reach it last year because I was just too busy.
Yeah.
So, but we were still having progress. That helps you as a couple to say, you know what, we may not have reached the goal, but we are 20%. We are 30%, which means there is progress there. So we can clap hands for that.
Yeah.
And celebrate that there's
That 20%.
that 20%.
milestone. Yeah.
Don't wait until you are 100% and only then you decide to celebrate the shared goals. Because shared goals are powerful
Yeah.
when it comes to marriage.
Yeah.
Number 5, expressing gratitude. We spoke about this last week as well. Expressing gratitude is the cornerstone of a healthy marriage or any other relationship. If you want to start seeing any relationship that you are in flourish,
Yeah.
exercise expressing your gratitude. At work, with your bosses, express your gratitude. With your colleagues, express your gratitude. And you'll realize relationships that are watered with gratitude, they flourish much better.
Yeah.
Right? So you need to be able to do that for your marriage as well. I really can't stress this enough. Taking time to express your gratitude to your spouse is a very important part of your stock-taking process. You can't stock-take without including gratitude in that stock-taking process.
Yeah.
Because without adding gratitude, everything feels like we are not doing good.
We are not doing good.
You know? Whereas gratitude says, look at what we've come through or we've passed through. And I'm grateful that I had to pass through all of those things with you.
Yeah.
When you do this gratitude part, try to focus more on your spouse than even the relationship itself. Because you are in a relationship with a person.
Yes.
So try to focus more on them and giving them their flowers now. People talk about giving flowers when people are still alive. Give them their flowers now. It will help you reflect on your love, your support, and the presence that your partner continually gives unto you.
Yeah.
If you want to effectively show or express your gratitude, think about these things. What are some of the specific ways your spouse has shown love and support to you? Note those down.
Yeah.
And then when you get some time, then you start thanking them for those things. Babe, I always say, Khoreb, there's this thing that you are able to do and you do it so well. That when you see I'm pressure to do something, you create that space for me, to be able to achieve what I want to achieve now, knowing it's obviously for a time being, it's gonna be maybe 2 months, 3 months for me to focus, and you get the baby away from me, you get pretty much everything away so I can be able to focus on that given task. And that I appreciate about you. So that's how you go about it. Think about the qualities or actions your spouse does that you are most grateful for. Write those down as well. When you get into that meeting, because this is a meeting, guys. This is a meeting. You have to have a meeting. You are not just reflecting on the past and all that all alone. There needs to be a meeting. You need to sit down.
It's not a reminiscing.
You're not just thinking about it in your head. It has to be a meeting and you talk these things through, right? So think about the qualities and the actions your spouse does on a daily basis that you are really, really grateful for. And write those down. And when you get into that meeting, then thank them for those. The other one is how has your spouse impacted your life and your marriage in the past year? Think about those. and you'll realize just how much your spouse is doing.
Yeah,
and I think
true.
this is so much. For me, it's like, when I think about it, I even feel bad, because I realize just how much you do for us, and I know a lot of people go through this.
Yeah.
If you ever think about how much your spouse does for you, for you and your marriage, then you'll realize just how much they are doing.
It's much more than you
Yeah,
think
it's
about.
much. I get we are so busy.
Yeah.
When we are so busy, these things
They fall
feel
through
like
the cracks, yeah.
it feels like that's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah,
Definitely. But when you sit down and think about them, then you realize, no, man, this is
They
not
really
just.
didn't have to.
Yeah, they didn't have to, but they are doing
did,
it.
yeah.
And our marriage is better today because they've been doing 1, 2, 3. But it takes that intentional thinking about what has been happening in the past year.
Yeah.
Now, lastly, when you express your gratitude, try to be as specific as possible.
Definitely.
Try to be as specific as possible. In the example that I made about you just making sure that you move everything away. When you do that, when you become specific, let's say your spouse, you appreciate them washing dishes, right? When you tell them what makes you appreciate them the most, which is washing the dishes, every time they wash the dishes, they will know that they are planting into your
that
marriage.
particular thing.
You know? So it helps them, it gives them that strength to even do much more.
Yeah.
But beyond just washing the dishes, now they want to clean the house. Because
Wouldn't be that. It would be lovely. Yes.
because you have shown gratitude. It's always said that gratitude creates room for more.
Yeah.
If you are not grateful, your partner will eventually stop even the little thing that they are doing.
True.
So continually show gratitude, even for the most mundane things.
True.
Please, thank you, I'm sorry. Those are key words in marriage. You cannot live without those.
Yes.
So say thank you, and say thank you enough.
They will definitely make your marriage more beautiful.
Yeah.
Number 6, strengthening your bond.
Yeah.
A successful marriage requires continuous effort and investment in the bond between the partners.
Yeah.
As part of your stock taking, it is important that you identify areas where you can strengthen your connection as a couple.
Yeah.
You must consider how you can improve communication. Like, I don't know how to stress this enough.
Yeah.
Communication will always come up because it is the
Every
heart
time.
of the marriage, it is the heart of every relationship, Consider how you can improve communication, deepen emotional intimacy and create more opportunities for quality time together. Remember, we said last week that quality time is a time that, creates memories that will last for a long time in your mind. You also need to explore new activities or hobbies that you can engage as a couple, to create shared experience that will nurture your bond.
Yeah.
By prioritizing the growth and the strength of your relationship, you lay a foundation for resilient and fulfilling partnership and marriage. And you can answer these questions in strengthening your marriage. In what way can we deepen our emotional connection? You spoke about that. You spoke about connection, emotions. How can we then deepen this connection? To strengthen our bond as a couple. Are there any new activities or hobbies that we can explore together to strengthen our bond? Because a bond between the couple is mostly strengthened by time. Invest by spending time together, and spending time together will always involve activities to be done. it's not just you sitting on the same couch and the other one watching TV and the other one being on their phone. But it is as a time that is cultivated by activities. Washing dishes together is spending time.
Intentionally being together.
Yes, intentionally being together and in each other's space, doing something together.
Yeah. If you want to go deeper into bonding, we have an episode, I think it's intimacy. It's around intimacy.
Yeah.
One of the first episodes that we've had, it speaks about intimacy. But in a nutshell, you need to be able to bond with your spouse in all levels.
Yeah.
You need to be able to bond with them physically. That bond must be strong. You need to have your mental intimacy, that bond mentally, that bond spiritually. You need to be able to have that kind of intimacy. And this is a work in progress. You can't just sleep today and tomorrow you wake up fully bonded. Oneness takes a long time.
It's a process.
It's forever.
That's why the Bible says that, and two shall become. The becoming is a process. You don't get married today and just because you signed and said your vows, now you are one. No, you become one. It is a process of so many things involved in that process to get to the oneness.
So be intentional about creating that strong bond. It takes the time, it takes presence, it takes intentionally doing things together like you mentioned. But above all, it's about just you enjoying each other's space, and being able to make the most of your time together. Okay, number 7, addressing challenges. So during your anniversary,
not to spoil the mood though.
It's not about spoiling the mood. And as you mentioned, all these things that you're gonna be doing, you are doing to build. In fact, I'm gonna talk the shortest in this point because I don't want you now to sit there the whole day talking about challenges. It's really about identifying. I believe that if you don't identify problems, they will become bigger problems. So identify the problems, quickly figure out
how to get rid of.
How do we get rid of these, and move forward and grow from there, and
because if you don't, I believe you always walk around eggshells in your marriage.
Because the problems are not being resolved. So use this time as an opportunity to open up the discussions around any recurring and significant problems, that or challenges that you may have faced in the past year as the couple, right? I think it's important to not only identify what the problems are, also identify what the root causes are, right? Identify what the root causes are. And once you found out what caused the problems, it's easy for you as a couple to brainstorm what the possible solution may be. Right? So you deal with, you look into what the root is, and then how has that affected our marriage. That's those are the fruits, Now, how do we get rid of the fruits? How do we get rid of the tree? How do we get rid of the roots?
The roots,
And I also believe that a solution that comes from the both of you is more potent than a solution that's just gonna come from one person. So always work towards identifying the problems together, but also resolving the problems together. And I must say, without being insensitive, sometimes you may not be able to resolve the issues, and there is no sin in seeking help. To the gents out there is no sin in seeking help. Seeing a professional, that's what I mean. Seeing a professional if you cannot, as a couple, get to a
Get to the
solution,
root.
or or even get to the root, find how did we go wrong, then seek a professional. Go there, sit through, listen, let them help you through getting to the root. All these things that we're talking about here is stuff that we've done with the couples, finding the root cause, and bringing those up to the fore so that they know what they are currently facing. It's better to know what you are fighting, especially when it comes to marriage. It's better to know the problem you are fighting, or a challenge that you are fighting, than one that's just hiding somewhere. So if you can unearth these things on your own as the couple, find professional help, get someone who's going to help you uproot those things and help you succeed against them. Right. And this is one thing about addressing challenges head on. It means you are not hiding the challenges. It means you are not throwing them under the rug. You are just attacking them head on. And the benefit to that is that you both, when you do that, you both demonstrate that commitment to working through difficult times, which is important for marriage.
It is.
For any relationship. No one wants to be in a relationship where at the sign of trouble, a person bails out on you.
Yeah.
No one wants that. So when you address these problems head on, you are just demonstrating that you are willing to go through and to work through all these problems, all these challenges, with so much determination and with so much commitment with your partner, and that will, as a result, build a stronger relationship between the two of you. And guess what? If you do this and you do this consistently, there's no problem that is going to go unresolved in the future. There's no challenge that's going to defeat you. Your future is bright already, because you have that determination. You are willing to fight for your marriage.
Awesome. Number 8, planning for the future. So it is important to look ahead as we do stock taking of our marriages, because it is the whole idea why we do it in the first place, right? It is the whole idea why we look into marriages this way. We want to have a better marriage going forward into the future. So you must discuss individual goals and aspirations, as well as shared dreams that you have for your marriage. You must consider the steps that you need to take to turn these dreams into a reality, to support each other to achieve them, whether be it a financial goal, career development, or personal growth. You just need to actively chart a course forward into the future that will align you with your values and aspirations as a couple. You and I use our marriage anniversary as a launching pad for envisioning our future as a couple. And this has helped us tremendously to prepare for the future that we want, because you get the marriage that you want. So you must plan for it and work towards achieving it. And I believe as you plan for the future, you can look into what are your personal goals. Remember last week we talked about, on one of the previous episodes, we talked about there is room for individual growth. There is room for individual goals and aspirations. So as you plan for the future, you must look into those personal goals and aspirations. Sit down with yourself, plan them out, so that when you do have that this meeting, then you present them to your spouse to say that, in this coming year, this is what I want to do to develop myself. And also you look into what are the shared experiences and adventures that you would like to pursue as a couple together. And the most important one will be, how can we support each other in achieving both individual goals and joint goals.
We have I'm trying to look now, and I'm just doing this on the fly. We have a document that we use. Wow. Okay. And I'm just gonna read the headings. We have this document. It's both for our prayers, plus our goals. You know,
that
as
we plan for every
that we plan.
January.
Yeah.
The beginning of the year every year.
The beginning of the year every year. So when we do our budget, I think we take one day to do our budget, and then we take the following day to do
prayers,
our prayers,
our prayer points
for the year,
and
for the year and all that,
and then goals.
and then the goals. So the headings. The first one is spiritual. You know, what are our goals
Spiritually.
from a spiritual perspective? What are our goals from a family and marriage? So our marriage and our family, we have that in one column. And then we have our physical goals, rest enough, eat healthy, exercise. We have those. And then we have ministry goals. And the podcast, actually, we must mark it green because it's here in our in our
so
goals.
we have already achieved one of our goals so
goals
far.
You know. And then career, we have
studies
that we need to do. I did pass my EJPT exam, which is part of this. And there are other ones that I still need to pass this year.
A lot.
before we can mark this green. But there's progress.
There is. And there are others that we have achieved. Don't say we have achieved one.
Yeah,
we have achieved quite
a lot that we've achieved.
But
you know, but the written ones from a career perspective, you know. And then we have financial goals. That's also planned, but thoroughly planned. This is also in our budget. It reflects in our budget. By the way, you can look in the channel. There is an episode.
I think it's one of the first. It's the first one.
Yeah.
Or the budget.
I think
something.
The budget one.
Yeah.
If you really want to get your budgeting right, look into the channel. You'll find one. There is a tool that we shared in the. In one of the episodes.
Yeah, it's the budget spreadsheet that we use.
Yeah.
For our
this
budgeting.
Though will be on YouTube only for those who are in YouTube. And then we have business goals. And then we have personal development goals. You know. We are struggling a bit here because the stuff that I'm looking at I don't even want to say. But it's I'm just thinking about this as you are talking about planning for the future together. If you don't write it down, it won't happen. I think it's one thing we've learned in our marriage.
You forget and you don't feel the need to achieve it because there's nothing holding you accountable.
But also,
so when
it's a
written,
spiritual law.
Exactly.
You know, it's a spiritual law. The Bible says, write the vision down. You know, so that whoever reads it may be able to run with it. So if you write it down and we share the spreadsheet online, we save it on the cloud so that you have it, I have it. Anytime I want to look at it, I can just open it. And because it's a spiritual law, it's written down. I who reads it, I'm able to run with it. You know, it gives me, I don't know how this rule works. But it works for us.
When we got a hold of it, it made sense.
It made much more sense.
And we have been achieving things this way. Ever since we have started this way, it has really been working for us.
Every time we write something down,
it happens.
Every time we talk about something
and don't write it,
it doesn't happen. So I wish I could explain to you how the rule actually works. but I don't know how. You know, I just know that it works.
I mean, the Bible
And
says
the
it
Bible
works, so it works.
yeah, the Bible says
Just take
so.
the Bible at its word and just do
Yeah,
it.
I think that's the other thing, and I digress here. That's the other thing about the word of God is that when we read the word of God, sometimes we want it to make perfect sense to our minds.
Yeah.
You know, whereas God just wants us, and that's where the faith comes in. God wants us to take His word as our absolute truth, even though we don't know how it's gonna work. So if God says write it down, write it down.
Write it down.
You know, and that's all. That's where your faith must come from. You know, to say, okay, God said so, so I'll do it. I don't know how it's gonna turn out, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
We get back to this one, but yeah.
Thank you for the sermon.
So plan for the future. It will help you so much. Number 9 and the last one.
Yeah.
This one I can't tell you a lot on it because I know you do it. Celebrating your love. We all when we hear anniversary, we are thinking
celebrate.
celebration. You know?
Yeah.
So yes, your marriage anniversary is a time for celebration. You know, you are celebrating your love, you are celebrating your commitment to each other, and you are celebrating the companionship that you have with your spouse.
Yeah.
Right? And I said, I did say, most of us get stuck here. Before you celebrate, sort out the house first. You know, sort out the emotional being, sort out that, you know, all the things that we've spoken about. You know, give gratitude where it's due. In fact, plan a special celebration, you know, that will honor the journey that you've taken together.
Yes.
You know, now remember when I started, I said, slow down. This is a time, if you can, go out for a week or two, you know, to celebrate your anniversary. What
Create
that does,
memories, yeah.
yes, and that's where I'm coming to. What that does is it creates memories, which are really important in marriage.
Yeah.
One thing that we've seen is that many couples don't build memories, and when life happens, there really isn't anything to remember. You know,
To encourage them
to encourage you to
Yeah.
go forward, because you know that once we pass this, the good times are coming. Because there's no track record of the good times. So it becomes a problem when you don't build memories. So build memories. It's expensive, yes, we know. You know, to go out, for instance. But you don't have to go out all the time. Just make sure that you create a memory. And that's the most important time, or an important thing to do. How you create a memory. Mina, I'm terrible with planning surprises. I'm terrible with planning our travel stuff. If you are like me and you are listening to this, just ask. You know, just ask. How would you like to celebrate our marriage anniversary? You know, plan that together. You know, get into the minds of each other, and
It's exciting. More exciting.
Create some. If you can create. Some people are good with surprises. You know, they tell you tomorrow, wake up, bath, we are going. You're like, hey man, okay.
Only to end up in Dubai.
Yeah, you know, you are wondering, where are we going? How? Or and the next thing, you're in Dubai.
Yeah.
Passports, everything sorted, everything good. You know, some people are good with that. But if you're like me and you can't do all of that stuff, just ask. It helps to just ask and say, how would you like to celebrate our anniversary? Let your spouse say, hey, I like to go to Dubai this year. You know, planning for the future, what we've just spoken about. You can write that vision down to say, okay, for our 10th anniversary, which we must add actually to our list. For our 10th anniversary, we want to go to Dubai, we want to go to, write it down, so that it invokes that law, so that you are able to reach it.
Yeah.
What romantic gestures or surprises would make this occasion special? How can I make you feel special during this anniversary? Let your spouse tell you, if you can just take me for a massage, I'll be fine. If you can just take me for a picnic, I'll be fine. You'd be shocked what makes your spouse happy and what makes your spouse feel special.
Yeah.
So just ask, and I know you guys already do this, because all of us, that's what we do during the anniversaries, but it's the important thing to know is that you create the memory, and you make sure that during this time, you use this time to reaffirm your love and your dedication to each other. It's that time to say, look,
Yes.
I know I said it when I got married 9 years ago, but I still love you, and I want you to hear it from my mouth. I don't want you to, some people say, what's the story we had? If I didn't say anything otherwise, it means I haven't changed my mind.
Yeah.
I said I love you 9 years ago.
9 years ago, I haven't changed
my mind.
Yeah.
If I haven't said anything else,
Yeah.
just know this is the time to tell them. I still love you. I still want to be with you. These are small things, but they mean a lot.
Yeah,
To hear from your spouse. Because we make so many mistakes throughout the year, and to hear your spouse saying, "I still want to be with you, despite all of that. I still love you, despite all of that. I want to spend the rest of my life with you." That hits home very hard.
Yeah.
So there you go.
As I conclude, a marriage anniversary stock-taking plan serves as a reminder of the value and the significance of your union.
Yeah.
It is a time to celebrate the love, commitment, and resilience that has carried you through the highs and the lows of your journey together.
Yeah.
As you commemorate this special milestone, let it be an opportunity to rekindle the romance, to reignite the spark, and recommit yourselves to nurturing your relationship, like you have already said.
Yeah.
And our gift from us to you, we just want to give you a document that we use during our counseling sessions called the marriage review meeting document. We normally give this to couples that not only struggle with communication, but really don't talk about the issues that need to be addressed.
The elephant in the room.
To get them into the motion of talking, healthy communication. I'm listening to us as we speak right now, especially about people addressing problems during their anniversary, to say that, but that can be such a mood killer. No, it won't be if you have practiced reviewing throughout the year. You have practiced talking and reviewing your marriage, because the document really helps the couple to get into talking. Right, so that it does not get hard to address the elephant in the room on your anniversary. Because you are so used to talking about hard things, you are so used to talking about difficult things, and they don't even spoil the mood. The mood remains the same, because you have gotten used to talking, and you are rather good at it. People get shocked when we tell them during counseling sessions to say that we can bring up any conversation anytime. Even if it is a person can look at what we are talking about and say, timing, mood.
What happened to the timing?
What happened to the timing? What happened to the mood? Is because we used this document. This document was created by us in the beginning of our marriage, when we realized that we are struggling with communication. That's when we created this document to help us. And today we can talk about anything at any time, and the mood does not change. So people, when they use this kind of document, they there will get to that point where you are able to talk about anything, and the mood remains the same, and there's no dilly-dallying, there's no walking around eggshells. You say what you need to say, and that my partner is this kind of person, and they are not here to fight me. We are building, we are fixing. We are creating something beautiful. So that will be our anniversary gift. As we continue to celebrate our anniversary, this will be our gift to you.
And I mean, I just want to say, I think it shows a lot of growth to you as a couple if you can now talk about pretty much everything, anytime, without being offended. Without taking offense. Because, that's another thing. Offense and taking offense are two different things. Many times we take offense.
That was never given to us.
And like 99.9% of the time, the offense was not meant,
True.
but it was taken. So it shows just how grown you are as a couple if you are able to then just say, hey, look, there's this that is bothering me, can we talk about it? And it doesn't spoil your mood. Maybe it shocks you to say, how I didn't know
that we needed to talk.
Like I didn't know this bothered you, or I bothered you, and
I hurt you.
Or I hurt you. But it doesn't take away that
or change the mood.
It doesn't change the mood of how things are going. It should not now say, okay, so because I bothered you or because I hurt you, let's stop celebrating our anniversary. Let's fix this thing.
Now it becomes fixing.
Now it's about a problem. So it's really about just the document we are going to be giving. It's gonna be in the description, by the way. So just click on the description and the document will automatically download.
Can I mention something about the document? You must have what we did in the beginning of our marriage. We would have these meetings every Friday. We would have them every Friday, and we got to a point where we would have them once a month and then once a quarter. And we don't have them anymore because now we don't need that kind of a meeting.
We've exercised it
enough that we can have the meeting without having the meeting. We can talk about certain issues without having a meeting. So the trick here is to have it when you are happy. Number one, plan for it. Plan, baby. Can we have a meeting this coming Friday? This is the agenda. This is what we are going to discuss. You do not
don't wing it.
Don't what's the word that I'm looking for?
Don't catch your spouse by surprise.
Yes, where people's guard ambush. That's the word that I'm looking for. Yes, don't ambush your partner. So that they fully prepare as you come fully prepared. You have these meetings, you plan for them, there's an agenda, and you make sure you have them when you are happy.
When things are going well.
When things are going well and your mind is prepared, your emotions are prepared to say, you know what, today I'm going to hear some hard truths. I'm going to receive some blows, but I am building. Because if you are
an attack,
it's not an attack. We are fixing. We are building. We are creating something beautiful. Because if you are not prepared, it's easy for you to take offense. Like you just mentioned, it is easy for you to be aggressive. Like we spoke about the communication style. It is easy for you to defend yourself and to attack back and to fight. So those are the tips that I can give if you are going to do the meeting. And take notes. Have the agenda, write minutes. Write minutes so that you write the vision down, because you're going to need to write resolutions. write
Those are the
resolutions.
things that
Don't
are going
just
to make it to your vision board.
Yes.
Those are the things that are going to
make it to your goals,
and
to your plans,
So,
to your vision. Yeah. So don't just talk, because 5 months down the line you will have forgotten everything that you spoke about.
And you're gonna be back at square one.
Yes. So as often as you have the meetings, write the minutes down, resolutions down, so that you can track your progress, and you are also better equipped to plan for the future, like we were just saying. You plan for your future as a couple.
I mean, if you loved this episode, please like, comment, share, whatever you want to do. Just do it with this episode. And we must say, you don't have to wait for your anniversary to go through all these things. If you feel, if your anniversary was in February, you can't wait for another February. Just do it now.
Just do it now.
Just do it now. Go through the list with your partner, and just make your marriage better. And if you feel that this is your marriage, you can do
whatever you want.
If you want to have this every month and just check, let's reflect on the past month.
You can do that.
How were your emotions in the past month? You can do that.
I think that's where the marriage review document is going to help them. And they can change it to their
you don't have to follow our
it's
structure.
Just a guideline.
This is just a guideline of how to go about it. But you can do whatever you want with the document. Change it to fit your marriage. But above all, it's really about making your marriage much better.
As we close, remember, there is beauty in your marriage.
Show up, be present,
and keep loving. God bless.
And
bye-bye.